What is up, you guys? We are back with another quick video, another post from the Neville sub. This one is by God of My Reality 21 called How I Manifested from Being a Loner to Being Popular Within 1 Month. So here it is. I manifested a friend group when I was going through one of the worst periods of my life. I was trying to manifest an SP but failed. I was a beginner in April 2022. Then I realized that the reason I was so desperate to have an SP was because I was so lonely and felt like the SP was the only person who understood me. Spoiler alert, no, I just had to go out and meet more people. With me realizing this, I thought, all right, how about I manifested friends instead? Friends that were purely platonic that I could never fall in love with, but would have every one of their interests align with mine. I want companionship. As this was my first conscious manifestation, even this felt so daunting to me. Like, what if I failed and the law wasn't real? Or like, if this is a manifestation I don't even care about, what if I fail at this too? Wouldn't that mean I'd never manifest love? But as I'm about to prove, the law truly never fails, and guess what? I wrote a list of traits I wanted to see in my friend group, and all of them manifested. First of all, I want to thank this post. It's not Neville, but I found it almost to the T, except for the part where the OP stated that he pretended that whoever he was trying to manifest was around him all the time. I just couldn't do that without feeling delusional. So what did I do? I have a Penzu account. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you guys know what that is, which allowed me to have an online diary that I kept in my phone. Of course, you can have a physical diary if you aren't scared of someone actually finding it, LOL. Then I wrote down affirmations, all the traits that I wanted in my friend group, gratitudes, and reference scenes from the past. Affirmations, how I will feel about them in general. This is also the blanket and non-analytical feeling I have when I think about my manifestation for a split second, when I wonder, where is it? 1. I am grateful for like-minded and understanding friends because it makes me feel like I am understood. 2. I am grateful that my friends love to hang out with me because it makes me feel so loved. 3. I am thankful for having so many friends who love me because it makes me feel accepted. 4. It's amazing to be so popular. I've never felt this way before in my life. The last one is the one I use the most. Honestly, I thought it was really fun to say it because it came from the thought, what if, contradictory to my past history, someone like me can actually get super popular? And I had no time/money to hang out with so many people. The thought really made me smirk, like, LMAO, that's ridiculous. I've spent my entire 24 years of life wallowing in loneliness, but like, what if? I just became freaking popular out of nowhere, and that's what happened. Traits. What traits they have to possess? Here I wrote, they had to have the same interests as me. We're caring, intelligent, loved having fun, traveling together, appreciates me in their life, and we're purely platonic. Gratitudes. Very similar to affirmations, but for me, my gratitudes list is for smaller details. Okay, I have like 8 gratitudes, and they're very long, and I don't think anyone's interested in reading them, but a few that stand out particular to me was being grateful that this friend group is really appreciative of one another, and we never had such a great platonic bond with anyone else before. I also said that they would accept me for being queer, which was something that didn't happen often in my life. I also wrote that they'd never prioritize their romantic relationships over me. Sounds selfish, but EIYPO, and you can have everything you want. Everyone is you pushed out. Reference scenes. I wrote a list of memories of ex-friend groups where I had fun, road trips, nights out together, trip to a museum, chatting in a cafe. These scenes I would replay in my mind for 5 minutes when I'm bored with no attachment and just let go. After I wrote the list, almost every day I'd read it and truly feel that I was grateful for having this friend group. Meanwhile, there was nothing showing up in the 3D while I was reading off the list. I think I probably read the list twice a day, once after I had coffee, and the second time when I'd finish my work and have nothing to do, around 7 p.m.-ish. What's important is I also always did visualizations of me sitting with this friend group of 4 or more people in a long table, us doing our own work but enjoying each other's quiet presence. Then I'd visualize us going to travel together, so just those 2 scenes. I think what helped me succeed was the fact that I was so depressed over not being able to manifest my SP. I had a burning desire to manifest a friend group, because when you are so emotionally drained from SP, focusing on manifesting anything else feels so easy. I kept doing these visualizations without being reliant on it or desperate for it. I think that did play a role in this success. So I also completely changed my self-concept. Every day for a month, I checked my phone and saw that I didn't have any text messages from anyone and felt a bit sad. But I told myself, that's all right. I have myself. From now on, I'm not going to depend on any SP or any friend to make me feel better. But also, at the same time, I'd recall the feeling my affirmations gave me and thought it'd come one day. So me manifesting a friend group was really just it'd be nice if thing. Did it every day for a month, saw no movement. And then I just decided, you know what? Fuck it. This doesn't seem to be working. I told myself, I've had friends before, just not ones that matched everything on my list. I'll just let it go and it'll come to me naturally anyway. And at that point, I was already in love with being with myself, to the point I was completely convinced there was no point in even having friends, because any conversation I could have with a friend, I could have inside myself. LOL. Guess what? The next day, on a Monday morning at work, was the harvest of my manifestation. Turns out 2 girls were talking trash about our boss, who everyone hated, the previous week, and some drama happened. This girl, who never talked to me, suddenly messaged me and spilled all the tea. And after that, somehow other colleagues started asking me for the tea, and everyone suddenly became real close. Within a week, I had 3 to 4 people messaging me every day to talk about anything and everything. I had forgotten about the list I wrote and wasn't even muttering to myself, it's amazing to be so popular. I've never felt this way before. Guess who started screaming when a few months later, they read the list they wrote and it ticked every single box. But anyway, besides a new friend group, my high school friend group moved back to the city that I'm currently living in. We started having trips together once every 3 months. So see, by changing your self-concept, everyone around you has to fit into your new state. What did I learn? You can have anything you want. List it, script it. However, you must never depend on it and wait for it to come and put your life on hold. While manifesting, I seriously didn't think about it except for the 2 times of the day I read my list. You must give everything you want to receive to yourself in your mind first. Do this often, and you naturally either let go or don't care about the 3D anymore. Never think, I cannot live without my desire. Yes, you can. You are God. You have everything and lack nothing. You are gifted with the desire, so you can receive the gift of shifting into your desired state. Getting your desire gives one-time results. Getting into a desired state gives permanent results everywhere in life. Affirmations, gratitudes, and reference scenes are to conjure up the feeling of already having it. You just need to keep focusing on these scenes, and eventually they have no way but to outpicture into your 3D life, because you are the creator and the only consciousness animating this world of people. I like that last line a lot too. Affirmations, gratitudes, and reference scenes. Breaking it down, yes. Whether it's an affirmation, whether it's a scene that you're imagining, an imaginal act that you're imagining, they are to conjure that feeling of being the wish fulfilled, of already having it. So we have some top comments here. And there's other golden nuggets in this post too that can be applied to so many things. You know, you can have anything you want, list it, script it. Never think you cannot live without it. Yes, you can. And getting into the desired state, it's like a tree that will bear more and more fruit rather than just getting the one desire. I like that a lot too. So some of the top comments, like I said, so Wealth Goddess says, I love the part you affirmed, I've never felt this way before in my life, because it doesn't allow you to feel delusional. You're literally convincing yourself this is who you are becoming. The OP said, that's true. I'm now going to apply this to every one of my major manifestations, because not only does it diffuse doubts, but also it makes you feel very excited, even if you're just daydreaming about the positive extreme of your manifestation. Like, oh, maybe I will get an SP, Or maybe I will get my SP and another 3 more people pursuing me because I've never felt so loved before. Haha. So we have, before we wrap this up, I do have another comment here. So I have a question. I literally feel my chest pain when I script something. I will feel like it's too much to dream for or too big of a manifestation. And I see everywhere that we can get what we want, but like, how do I go from having no friends to a big group of loving, caring friends? I feel that my mind laugh at me. It feels like it's too good to be true. How do I feel like it's already happened when I feel uneasy when asking for big things? I feel even more frustrated. So the OP writes, for me, I just go with my big goals. So big to the point that it'd be the total opposite of whatever feelings I have right now. Maybe now I have 0 people to talk to, so I'll think, what if I had 10 people to talk to and my phone keeps blowing up and I actually got fed up with all the texts because now I don't have time to do the hobbies I had so much time enjoying when I didn't have friends. All of this, I would imagine, for fun. It's so important to make it fun. So ambitious is your goal that it feels like a comedy. You said your mind laughs at you because it feels too good to be true. Use that to your advantage. Think, exactly, it is so ridiculous, but I guess it happened. Can you even believe it? Then just bask in that feeling of something ridiculously wonderful happening to you for 10 minutes and move on with your day. Make it fun. If you are stressing it won't work. Also remember, nothing material in the 3D is ever more important than your 4D self that thinks life is wonderful even without friends, relationships, family, money. You know what I mean? The key is to first be very secure in yourself and think of everything in 3D you're trying to manifest as some side topping. So somebody replied, whoa, this is probably the best way somebody ever explained to manifest friends. You made it sound so easy. It really clicked in me. Maybe now I have 0 people to talk to, so I'll think, okay, what if I had 10 people to talk to and my phone keeps blowing up? And I actually got fed up with all the texts because now I don't have time to do the hobbies I had so much time enjoying when I had no friends. All of this, I would imagine, for fun. It's important to make it fun. So ambitious. Yes, I mean, I'm repeating that, and this person is repeating that because there is some nuggets in there. There is, when you think about, sometimes when goals, you put too much pressure on them, you make them too important. What's one way that we can always diffuse the feelings of seriousness, the feelings of importance? The answer is humor. And this reminds me a lot of a technique, and I actually want to make a separate video on this that me and my partner have been using. So that technique involves this feeling. It's the same type of idea. They said, well, now I'm actually fed up with all the texts. Gosh, why my phone keeps blowing up? This is just too much. It's just all the time. It's constant. And you get into that type of state of mind. Now it becomes almost fun. It becomes a joke of sorts. It's where you are it transfers the emotion around this into becoming so lighthearted that there's no more pressure there. There's no more resistance there because it's like, oh my gosh, like, can you believe like how much my phone's getting blown up? I mean, it's so annoying. Now I don't even have time to do all the stuff I wanted because my phone's just going off all the time. And we've actually done this with social media. So one thing that my girl and I will joke about is we'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm just getting like so many notifications on Instagram. Like my videos are blowing up so much. Cause like I've mentioned in previous videos that we've been making a lot of cooking reels and posting them because she's a chef. And some of the videos actually do really well. And she actually at one point, I think this was a serious thing where it was like her phone was blowing up from all these notifications that she was getting. That was like, oh my gosh, like I can't even like use my phone, or like I can't even do anything. Like I'm just getting so many notifications. And I was literally like, yeah, there's probably like a way you can, I know there's a way you can like turn them off or make it so that, because I was getting notifications on Instagram Reels I was posting, but it was notifying me every 100 likes. So it was like, I'd get 100 likes, then I'd get 200, then 300, then 400, and it would notify me in that way. But she was getting like notifications every single time somebody liked it, and it was just going off like constantly. So that whole idea, and like I said, I want to make a separate video on this entire concept because we have this ability, and this is a great, fantastic technique. And this person said this is probably the best way somebody explained it. And they're taking it within this context of friends, exactly what he said, but the principle that I'm talking about, you can apply this to many other things. And so that's why I want to do a video on this that will discuss about how we can apply this technique to other things, to anything. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would like me to do a video on that. So I'm just going to reiterate this one more time. My phone keeps blowing up that I'm actually fed up with all the text now because I don't have time to do the hobbies I had so much time to enjoying when I didn't have friends. That's so cool too, because you're also now, within that statement, you are appreciating the time that you have right now, the time that you have as alone time. When people get into a relationship, when people get into a state of being popular, as this person did, it's very interesting because you do now have all these other maybe commitments, maybe people reaching out to you, people vying for your time. And as somebody that, has experienced being popular, and somebody that also has gone through phases in life where I'm more, during quarantine, I was like, my social life went to shit. And so it's like, yeah, well, you can also appreciate the fact that you have all this time for yourself, that you have to work on your hobbies, work on your craft, work on yourself, go into monk mode, which is another video that I posted recently, where you buckle down and you dedicate your time to working on what it is that you want to create in this life. What is it that you're pursuing? So it's a great way. I really love this post. Like I said, there's so much gold, so many golden nuggets within this post. And so it may be worth your time to watch this video again, read the post itself. I'll drop a link to the post down in the description. And the other reason, before this video gets too long, that I'm going to leave this video off with, that I like this a lot, is because this reminds me very much of my first manifestation ever, my first big manifestation. Before I knew about the law of attraction, way before I knew about Neville Goddard, way before I knew about Abraham Hicks, Joseph Murphy, any of these people. The first thing, when I was in high school, I was fed up with my group of friends. To me, they were, I don't know, I don't want to use the word losers because that sounds mean but basically they were the types of people that all they wanted to do was sit around inside, play video games. They didn't want to actually, in my viewpoint, live life. I'd see these other guys at my school that were just constantly, they were cracking jokes, they were going out and doing things, they were going to, partying, but they were also just active people. They were creative. They were shooting videos, doing things, doing activities, going out there and using their creative energy to create things and do things and be active. Talking to girls, they were just doing everything that I wanted to do when I was in high school that my friends weren't doing. And what happened was, there were actually 3 guys in particular at my school that I really thought were just the most fun, the coolest. I thought if I could be friends with these 3 guys, my life would be radically different. And so in my junior year, it might have been sophomore or junior year, I don't remember which year, I wrote down their names in a journal. I wrote down their 3 names, the names of these 3 guys. They were already friends, and I had absolutely no connection with them at all because I had a completely different group of friends. I don't think they were aware of me or who I was or anything, but I would see them around. I had some classes with them. I had had interactions with them before, although very minimal or fleeting. But I wrote their names down. And what happened was that I was in class with there was a class I had. It was a world history class. And I will never forget this. I will never forget this because of how this came about. I made the decision in that class to actually, rather than sit with my previous friend who sat in a different spot, I sat by this guy. And I'm not going to mention his name, but I sat by this guy that I had written down the name of his book, and he had another friend next to him. And they were just cracking jokes the entire time. That's what they would do in this class. They would talk, and it was kind of in the back, and nobody could really see them. And this other guy, let's just call, you know what? I don't even care. I'm just going to use his actual name. His name was Nick. So if he ever sees this, hopefully he doesn't get pissed off at me. But he was literally like, you think of a class clown, this guy was the epitome of a class clown. Like he would make jokes, he would talk to the teacher, he would crack jokes all the time, but he would literally do stuff so outrageous. He would literally like take his pants down, pull his pants down in the middle of class, but do it like nobody else knew that he was doing this besides me and my other friend, like the guy that I had written down in this journal. And he would just be doing this stuff. And I had never experienced, not that that's, that's like a weird, I guess, example, but the willingness to go so out there, to be so far out there, to say exactly what you think, to, crack like a joke in the middle of class, just speak out and say what's on your mind, and it just hits and it resonates and everybody in the class is laughing. I had never really been around or been friends with guys like that. And so their whole energy and their whole thing, like, just was really cool to me. And so at one point in time, I literally said to them, I asked them what they were doing after school. And I said, like, could I hang out with you guys? I literally just asked them that. And I said, because you guys are like way more fun. You guys are way more fun to hang out with than my friends. Like, my friends are boring. And when I said that to them, they both, like, I'll never forget that moment, because they both like looked at each other, and it was such like a genuine compliment that I think that a lot of the time people undervalue compliments when they come from a very genuine place, because these guys really had no reason to, invite me to come along, or, like, I was just literally like nobody to them. But even though they were already popular, and even though people already, like, they were cool, they already had validation, I think a lot of people just don't give people genuine compliments that come from the heart. And I think that when I did that, something about it was so genuine for them that they were like, yeah, you know what, like, come hang out with us. This is like, we're doing this, like. And so I went and hung out with them, and that began this whole bridge of incidents. And I literally became so during my junior year and senior year, my three best friends became the three guys that I wrote down in my notebook. And that is the first time I'd ever manifested something. And like I said, this was before, but then I learned from Nick about law of attraction, and about the movie The Secret. And I began to learn more about this. And that kind of is what led me down this path, actually, that I've been on, where I've, spent years of my life now learning more about this stuff. And anyways, guys, I don't want to make this video too long-winded, but I wanted to leave that off with the video here, because that is the first manifestation I've ever had, was manifesting friends. And I did it by writing their names down in a notebook. And anyways, guys, that was my own experience that's like relevant to this success story. And so I wanted to share that. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this post. I know this was long-winded, but I felt like I wanted to express all of that. And I think that there is a good amount of value, not only in this post, but just the concepts in it. And then also my own story. I just wanted to share that, because I've never shared that before on the channel, or really with many people ever, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, guys, drop me a like, drop me a comment as usual, hit me with a subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, let me know if you want me to do a video about this kind of technique of using humor to generate the desired result. There's also a cool thing you can do when you experience negative things, making a joke about it. And I would love to drop those videos. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.